The IMF forecasts global growth in 2022 at 4.4%, but these projections are being revised downwards due to conflict and the fallout from sanctions. The Global Economic Outlook session at Davos 2022 brought together leaders to discuss the key issues facing the global economy, including the prospect of recession. The Global Economic Outlook panel discussion on Monday, the 23rd of May opened with the question on everyone's lips. Are we heading for a global recession, and if so, how concerned should we be? Deutsche Bank raised eyebrows earlier this month by becoming the first major bank to forecast a U.S. recession, albeit a mild one. Now, it's warning of a deeper downturn caused by the Federal Reserve's quest to knock down stubbornly high inflation. The problem, according to the bank, is that while inflation may be peaking, it will take a long time before it gets back down to the Fed's goal of 2%. That suggests the central bank will raise interest rates so aggressively that it hurts the economy. Consumer prices spiked by 8.5% in March, the fastest pace in 40 years. The jobs market remains on fire, with Moody's Analytics projecting that the unemployment rate will soon fall to the lowest level since the early 1950s. To make its case, Deutsche Bank created an index that tracks the distance between inflation and unemployment over the past 60 years and the Fed's stated goals for those metrics. That research, according to the bank, finds that the Fed today is much further behind the curve than it has been since the early 1980s, a period when extremely high inflation forced the central bank to raise interest rates to record highs, crushing the economy. History shows the Fed has never been able to correct even smaller overshoots of inflation and employment without pushing the economy into a significant recession, Deutsche Bank said. The good news is that Deutsche Bank sees the economy rebounding by mid-2024 as the Fed reverses course in its inflation fight. Deutsche Bank said the most important factor behind its more negative view is the likelihood that inflation will remain persistently elevated for longer than generally anticipated. The bank said several developments will contribute to higher than feared inflation, including the reversal of globalization, climate change, further supply chain disruptions caused by the war in Ukraine and COVID lockdowns in China, and coming increases to inflation expectations that will support actual inflation. The rate of global growth is expected to slow from 5.7% in 2021 to 2.9% this year, according to the report. The World Bank, which acts as an international lending body for developing economies, had forecasted 4.1% growth for 2022 last January. The global economy had already been impaired by the aftereffects of the COVID-19 pandemic, which left international supply chains in tatters and significantly hampered income growth and poverty reduction efforts in developing countries. According to the report, Malpass mentioned the threat of stagflation multiple times in the World Bank report, noting similarities in monetary policy environments between now and the last time stagflation hit. Stagflation occurs when economic growth goes through a significant slowdown, but inflation and high prices persist. The last time the world went through a stagflationary period was during the 1970s oil shocks, when high oil prices caused high inflation worldwide and a recession in countries that imported large oil volumes from the Middle East. Stagflation can be considered the worst of all worlds, as inflation usually tends to counteract a shrinking economy. But the same conditions that kick-started 1970s stagflation appear to be making a return. Elon Musk also recently told Tesla executives he has a super bad feeling about the economy, so he wants to pause hiring and cut the company's workforce. This is perhaps not the best way to run a business, but it is indicative of the current mood. A lot of people have a sense that something's just off in the economy, or it's about to be.